Disqualification! Anything goes!
Sammy Wow Wow.
Women? No one cares about women's wrestling, man.
Fact.
What? No, yes.
Yes, sir.
This is the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Tommy Stryker. I'm the host of the show. Taco's with me.
What up?
Joe is here too.
Yes, I am.
And we've got a lot of neat pro wrestling to talk about this week. We try to
more than neat.
We try to keep it positive as much as we can on this podcast, and we talk about the best wrestling in the world. So there is a lot to talk about this week. The G1 Climax has started. Raw and Smackdown. We got Battleground coming up this weekend. The Cueto Cup is ongoing, and we got to talk about that. NXT has been very exciting lately,
and apparently 205 is so exciting it won't load right now.
We usually
they're breaking the servers like it's Games of Thrones. Holy shit!
We usually record the show on Tuesdays right after SmackDown, as 205 Live is playing in the background, but Taco is having a problem getting the 205 Live up on in the background, so it will be a less distracted podcast from your hosts this week. So,
I feel like I'm being punished.
Right. Another thing I should bring up too is we had a big storm here in the Twin Cities last night, and if you've been listening to the show for over a year now, and I don't even know if we brought this up last year when it happened, but last year the studio flooded. We had to record the podcast in a different part of my house. We had all this equipment set up in the living room, and it was a mess. It was a giant mess.
God, that was like a year ago.
It was a year ago. I was thinking about that the other day. We did the live SmackDown simulcast podcast where we watched the draft live on SmackDown. That was a year ago.
Damn.
So,
wow.
And we were, when that happened a year ago, we were concerned as, are we going to keep continuing to follow SmackDown now that it's live? And
we watched every episode.
We've watched every single one, and it's getting to be a little bit more laborious, and we'll get into. We actually stopped watching SmackDown at one point this week so we could go back and watch some G1 Climax stuff.
Totally worth it too.
So
yep.
It was certainly because you hadn't seen it yet, Joe, and Taco and I always appreciate a second, third, or fourth look at a great match. So.
Fuck yeah. Well, just shit, that Naito one alone was my third viewing of it.
Yeah. And I can't wait to that was just my first time watching Naito and Kota Ibushi today, so I'm very
shocked.
It was just there's so much wrestling, and so so Monday night is my Friday, basically my Friday night. So I ended up working really late. I didn't get home until 9:30 at night. Had some dinner with my wife, and then sat down to watch some wrestling. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to watch Raw. I got to watch the G1 Climax. I got to watch night one of the G1 Climax. I'll get caught up on Raw on Tuesday, podcast day. It's my day off. Got all day to watch wrestling. But so I sit down to start watching wrestling. I come into this podcast studio to get my G1 Climax notes and my brackets and my predictions, and I noticed that there's water pouring through the window, so I had to deal with that for a while. And then today, cleaning up the studio so that we could get the recording going and do all that. So I didn't quite. Well, long story longer. By the time I sat down to watch G1 Climax, the night one last night, by the time I got to the main event, I was falling asleep on the couch. So I had to finish watching it today, although I didn't get to it today until you guys got over here.
And you were watching Ring of Honor.
I was watching Ring of Honor. Well, I literally fast forwarded through Raw, got the meat and the potatoes of it, and I spent a good part of the afternoon today continuing to shop vac the studio and get it ready to go. And we're dealing with cat issues, and we're dealing with other things. And so, but yeah, I figured I'd wait till you guys got here because I'm sure Joe was appreciative of being able to watch Kota Ibushi. And
even though it was free on night one.
Exactly.
I could not get the shit to work.
You couldn't get it to work.
I just couldn't get anything to load correctly. I have a shitty computer. And honestly, that would be the only true way of viewing it on NJPW World. I tried doing it on my phone, but I knew that it wasn't going to work.
Do you have an account on there?
No.
I don't know if you might need to do that.
if it's free, I don't
Oh, it'd be
know.
in the free video section. You're right.
I think if it's free,
It tried to make me log in a couple times. I just gave up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So maybe other people had issues with that. So get at New.
It's a big night, so
that's true too. So, but I mean, again, if it was on live at 4 a.m. or whatever, and you tried watching it on demand later, that shouldn't be an issue either. And it sounds like Taco had no problem. I had no problem. So, but it might be different with the free situation. So maybe I should experiment with that, being that I've never tried the free version when I'm not logged in or whatever. So, all right. Well, let's before we get into too much G1 Climax, I know the WWE diehards are clamoring for our Raw and SmackDown thoughts. So let's get right into Monday Night Raw.
He's the subject. Monday Night Raw.
Are people really clamming for us?
I think so. I think people are into it. I'm starting to get tweets from people now that are liking what we're talking about. Not only on this show, but even Strong Honor. People are like, yeah, I'm loving the G1 Climax preview and analysis. So
Getting some new followers, some new likes out there.
Definitely,
Thanks, y'all.
get vocal out there.
So yeah, I think people are into it. So, but Raw, I mentioned how I put off watching Raw, but I was genuinely excited to watch Raw this week. We had
They had high ratings.
we had the Kurt Angle big reveal that had been built up over so much time, and the Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns match that has been that was really built up. The number one contendership, big stakes for the Universal title against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. So let's start there, because that was the big story of the show. Again, talk about problems that I've had lately. I was just explaining it to you guys. I was trying to watch this main event, and everything was going fine, but because of the storms and because I have DirecTV, I actually missed the finish of the match. It skipped to whatever was on USA Network next, so I had to go onto YouTube and watch the free clips of how it ended up, the main event from between Roman and Strowman, or Roman and Samoa Joe. Of course, I couldn't think of the name.
Haha, Clinton Dix.
But,
Hey, he did it to himself on that one.
but it was very predictable. It was Strowman coming out, getting involved, no contest. He beats up everybody, stands tall. So
I like that the Samoan Joes had a team up and kind of go on the same page to take this fucking monster out.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool moment there. But where are we going from here? So we got these three at each other's throats. We've got a month until SummerSlam. SummerSlam is August 20th, so plenty of time to either choose another contender, have these three face off in a number of best of 7 series. What do you think, Joe? Where are we going with these guys?
I don't honestly know with this one. There's just so many options. I mean, you could have any one of the three could honestly face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and it's probably going to be a good match. I mean, Roman has been back on his game, at least wrestling wise, because he's been with Strowman. But I've got no clue where to go with this, honestly.
A lot of signs kind of pointing to just going straight to a four-way on this. I'm not completely mad at that. It'd be kind of a spectacle to see all 4 of these beasts inside the ring at one time. So
big match for a big show too.
But what do you do? I mean, 4 weeks you can have all the different singles matches between these 3 guys. You can put these 3 guys in a 3-way match on the road to SummerSlam. So what's your level of excitement for this, Taco?
I'm pretty. There's a lot of possibilities coming out of it. Like Joe says, it's really kind of hard to see which way you're going to go with them, but like you say, it's kind of obvious I might end up with a fatal 4-way match. But I don't know, with these 4 powerhouses, they've all been entertaining. They've been all spot on. Yeah, so I'm going to welcome a fatal 4-way. If that comes too.
So the other big story from Monday Night Raw, the Kurt Angle reveal, the African American bastard son, the out of the head. Okay, so okay, so I like the end game here. We're trying to keep it positive, right? I like the end game, the idea of getting Kurt Angle with Jason Jordan as a mentorship, a manager, if you will, the quote-unquote father figure. I like where that's going, but my God, the fucking kind of it's so WWE, right? Like
Very.
It is. I'm on board with it, just kind of seeing like the Angle 24 special that was kind of going on, and like, you know, how he was talking about how Vince welcomed him back with open arms and how he was always a father figure there. So there's you know, but there's just something for Kurt Angle to kind of base something off of, to kind of make a character out of, you know, in the sense of him being in Vince's shoes and Jason Jordan being in Kurt Angle's shoes, in the sense when, you know, his first one with WWE. So he can kind of, you know, base himself off of that a little bit. And you know, if it was any other superstar out there doing this kind of storyline, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? But it's Kurt Angle, man. He's going to make it work. He's going to, you know, show this kid, you know, like, it's not always going to be what you want in this business, you know, but you got to make what you get out of it, you know, and I just think it's the perfect pairing for this young star. And, you know, it's kind of a silly storyline, but look at fucking Kurt Angle with the cowboy hats, or I'm just a sexy Kurt, or, you know, just all the silly shit he's done in his whole career, Edge and Christian stuff, you know, it's just, he always makes it work. It's so, like, I love it.
You think that's funny? It's not.
No, I like how I like how it ended up, but it was very WWE of a story. You know, they tease us with this intrigue and what's it gonna be, and the emotional and the illegitimate son. It was just so strange, and it came off weird too, like. So in like the promo package, the video package, like leading up to it, where Kurt Angle's like nervous, like, what is this going to do for my career, my family? What, having a black son? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't like what was he worried about? You know?
Yeah, like,
he's got a family, man. He's got 5 kids.
Hey, his family is supportive. This happened before he was in college.
This happened before his first family.
Exactly. The mother kept it from him. He had no idea. It's not like he's been skipping on child support payments or anything here. But I like this. I like it because it's very interesting for Jason Jordan, and the emotional embrace they had in the ring was very entertaining. Now, here's what I don't like. What about American Alpha?
Fuck American Alpha. That's pretty much what WWE said.
That's good.
That's the part that I was disappointed in, because, well, yes, I'm still happy with the overall angle of it. I was disappointed because I wanted American Alpha with Kurt Angle. It didn't just have to be Jason Jordan for me.
Sure.
I wanted to find a way.
You wanted the world's greatest tag team version 2.0 with Kurt Angle.
Exactly, because there's rumors that Shelton Benjamin has possibly even signed. It's very minimal rumors, and don't quote me on that.
That's great.
You gotta embrace
That's a great Charlie.
But I'm just saying, you bring back, but this still can set up into Jason Jordan versus, you know, his old, you know, mentor-y with Shelton Benjamin, but I highly doubt that.
There you go, I suppose.
I'm actually satisfied with them being split up. They didn't do it no dumb fashion, in a sense. They didn't give us a heel turn, you know,
right.
You know, oh, my brother, blah 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 blah. We didn't get none of that shit. No, we got fucking Gable on fucking Twitter going, what? Like, huh? Like, he had no idea. And then his interview from Smackdown too, which was kind of off-putting, because I
liked it, but
I liked on Raw, like, you know, everyone was like fucking giving Corey Graves, you know, 20 questions, like, how the fuck were you involved with this? Like, what the hell? Like, how do you know all this info? And he was like, you know, I came up in NXT with him. He, you know, he's like a brother to me. Like, we're very close. We stay in touch. You know, he's like a family. It's like, well, what about your tag team partner? How come he didn't know? So it's just kind of weird on that aspect. But I don't know. I like the split up. It's, you know, we're already seeing more focus of Gable on SmackDown, and it's just a bit more attention on Jordan on Raw. So it's just tremendous. And they, you know, Gable even put out a thing too on Instagram, just saying, like, you know, we were, you know, you gave me a chance, you gave me hope. We even got the championships together in NXT, and then we even got the SmackDown championships. We reached to the tops. Now let's go further in our career. So it's just like, yeah, it's such a beautiful story they told there.
Yeah, and I like the idea, too, that the split isn't because of a disagreement or whatever, so they could come back together at some point.
And when it does, it's going to be such a magical moment, too, because let's be honest, since they've been on the main roster, that's neat.
Yeah, that's
right,
pretty
exactly.
rough.
Yeah,
and that's what you want is, you know, another club situation where they're just kind of floating in the background, playing on grab ass on superstars.
Yeah, they told this story really well between Jordan and Gable down at NXT, but yeah, it just didn't click for whatever reason on Raw. Weren't given enough time. Weren't able to tell that story. The story just didn't get over because they didn't tell the story. So they split them up, and I'm very excited to see what Chad Gable does and Jason Jordan going forward. Other stuff from Raw, Alexa Bliss lost to Bayley again with Sasha neutralizing the Nia Jax factor at ringside. And so it was Bayley and Sasha Banks confronting Kurt Angle in the back, asking who's gonna fight Bliss at SummerSlam. So we're gonna have the number one contendership between God damn it, these goddamn names are really screwing me up.
Clinton Dix.
Bayley and Sasha Banks, number
Alexa Bliss.
number one contendership next week. This should be good, right? We had the classic NXT matches between these two, the Iron Woman match, what was the other big match that those two had down at? I think they just had some other big matches at NXT besides the.
I don't know. I like the last couple of weeks of the women's division on there. I like that. I actually like the tag team or the pairing, I should say, of Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I like where that's going too.
Fucking, Nia Jax has me fucking rolling and smiling on her, social media accounts. I hate to say, she's gonna be a great babyface if they ever turn her. Like, she has that Dwayne Johnson personality. She's so outgoing on there, and
it's interesting because she doesn't come across as the monster that they portray her as. Like she just doesn't have. I just don't feel like she has that in her. That confidence, that brutality, what Braun Strowman has, what Samoa Joe has.
She's really honestly very likable on there, and so I was completely amazed. So I kind of hope her being paired up with Alexa Bliss kind of brings that out, and kind of like we've seen it before in these tag team women's, the snooty woman kind of thing. But I don't know. I feel like if they kind of go that direction with her, she might come across to the people a little bit more.
Right on. So,
and I will say this, for the second week in a row, Bayley is looking more and more aggressive in the ring. And I think Alexa Bliss and Bayley have been playing off of each other perfectly.
That's a good point because, they were just a few weeks ago, we were talking about, fuck, we give up on Bayley, fuck her, and they've just done a horrible job with her. She's been buried. Remember, they had that gauntlet match where she lost in the first round of the gauntlet to Nia. We're all like, oh, fuck Bayley. But now that they've built up, gave her some momentum, gave her some wins versus the champions. So which way do they go? Is it going to be Bayley? Is it going to be Sasha? Does Nia get involved? We get another 3 or 4 way match at SummerSlam.
God, I hope not. I don't want it to turn into the whole Smackdown situation that we're already fucking dealing with. I'd really like it just to see Bayley. Again, we've got her on the train. Let's keep it going and try to build on this and get another character. We know Alexa Bliss is killing it as a heel. Nia Jax, like you said, has been building it up a little bit with the help of Alexa Bliss. So I'd rather see Bayley myself.
See, I'm on the Sasha side for SummerSlam. Her and Alexa Bliss could they're going to tear it up. That's what you need right there.
And that match that they had at Great Balls of Fire, where it was the count-out win for Sasha. That match between those two was really good.
And I actually like the fact that, we're getting Sasha against Bayley, and then on this week on SmackDown, we had Charlotte against Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
so it's kind of breaking all the norms they've been kind of getting comfortable with, and it might be babyface versus babyface, but there's so much on the line.
yeah, and a good match on SmackDown. We'll get to that in a few minutes here. Let's talk about the Enzo and Big Cass and Big Show.
Yeah, let's not
situation.
You mean Big Ass?
Well, Enzo is cutting that passionate promo again. It goes a little long now. He's been doing this.
Don't Ziggler us.
Yep. Well, and then as soon as Cass comes out, he powders out like a heel. Gets the hell out of there. So Big Show can come out, and those two just fight. So it looks like we're just building up to a singles match between these two, probably at SummerSlam. But we'll see how it goes. Finn Balor and the Elias Sampson thing. Again, Finn Balor dominates. Looks like he's going to win again. Sampson hits him with the guitar, busts his head wide open. Sampson does not know what the fuck he's doing when he's swinging a guitar at somebody's head. He needs to take some Jeff Jarrett lessons, I guess.
I honestly think it
happens.
was just different guitars. That guitar did not break anywhere near as explosive as Jarrett's guitar.
Well, because he
used
didn't.
to.
He hit him weird with it, like on the side of his shoulder and the side of his head. It wasn't square. It was very strange. And obviously, Balor got his head all busted open
I
from
think
it.
it could have been worse. I think it was just bad timing.
It was fine. And it ended up being fine because the blood and the craziness and the ugliness of it kind of added to the drama. So
Right.
it was, and at the end it was fine. But it looks like they're going to have the rematch between these two next week. But now Wyatt is involved, so it looks like we're going to get Wyatt and Balor at SummerSlam.
I
and
like
it's no
that.
disqualification next week, so you know Wyatt's getting involved.
That's right.
This match, anything goes.
I absolutely love that Elias Sampson's looking awesome against Finn Balor. That's it's just for who he is to kind of. I mean, this is his first real feud on Raw right now is against Finn Balor, and he's looking good against him.
And who better to make the Drifter look good than Finn Balor?
Yeah.
But I foresee a Balor victory or a screw job. It's probably more likely
a screw job, but
a Wyatt screw job and causing Elias to get the victory. But then Finn can move on to the Wyatt stuff, and then
It only builds him up.
Drifter
it's going to get
walks
him
away
more
with a
booze
win.
than pinning Finn
El
Balor.
Vagabundo.
Right, exactly. The Hardys versus the Revival.
Awesome.
That was good. Yes, the Revival do get the win with the roll up with the tights, of course. After Dash crotches Jeff Hardy on the top when he's going for the big swanton. So
I actually went back and rewatched this match, and the Revival, they live up to their name. No flips, just fists.
This.
Not even fucking suplex or anything in that match from him. Just brutality, beat them up, fucking rough them up. It's just, God, those guys are so fun to watch.
And a lot. Again, since I sped through Raw, I didn't get a chance to really kind of delve into this
I
match.
definitely recommend going back and watching
But
it.
I am imagining a lot more of the blind tags and stuff, and the double teaming, the clever double teaming by the Revival. So yeah, I'm glad that they're kind of continuing that gimmick, that what got them over in NXT. So very cool.
Hate to go back just a little bit, but
No, that's fine.
Going back to the Jason Jordan thing, is I love the fact that there's a ton of WWE superstars poking fun at the whole Kurt Angle Jason Jordan thing.
Yeah.
Scott Dawson just posted a picture of him next to Arn Anderson saying, "I think I need to talk to my mom."
It's funny. I saw that earlier today before I watched Raw, and I'm like, I didn't get it. It makes so much sense now. So yeah, now that I've seen the Jason Jordan reveal.
Anyways, continuing on.
Yeah, let's just keep going. Let's get into the SmackDown and Battleground predictions.
Do we have to?
Rollins and Ambrose.
Rollins
I thought
and
that
Ambrose.
was a great segment there.
With the chair?
The chair segment, and then Rollins basically telling Ambrose to fucking get over it. That was 2 years ago. I'm sorry, and he meant he's sorry, and so I thought it was really good. I thought I really liked how they did that, and it still shows Ambrose doesn't want to fucking trust him, but at the same time, yeah, dude, get over it. Like
I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot to talk about it last week too. I really liked last week Ambrose confronting him in the hallway after the scuffle or whatever, and just him just being passionate, like, "Hey, you stay out of my business." I really liked that.
Yep.
And again, Ambrose should be skeptical of this motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
He's the one that broke up the Shield, and even I like what you said, where it was Ambrose like, "Dude, that was 2 years ago," but still, Rollins, you haven't done anything to prove yourself.
Right.
So I like.
But he even brought that up to us, where he was like, "Hit me with the chair, and of course he didn't. But fuck, it just left me what I was going to say about that. But I like it. Everything that they're. I mean, fuck, I was out of this whole feud with fucking Ambrose and Miz, like completely over it, and all this shit's happening, and the Miz Traj being involved too. It's fucking moving along so fucking well now.
Yep.
Just overnight.
And I like that it's going to be a handicap match next week, so those two guys can prove themselves against the.
I was kind of half expecting when Rollins was like, "Dude, that was 2 years ago. Get over it." I was just kind of half expecting Ambrose to go, "Okay."
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, and a fucking Roman chant too for that segment.
Oh yeah, everybody wants to see.
They were hoping.
Everybody wants to see the Shield back together. So
It's not going to happen.
all right, officially now, let's get into the SmackDown.
Change the subject.
And the 205 ropes not being purple. Liked it. I liked it.
I'm going to make this a tag team match.
Yes, you are right. The taking away of the purple ropes and the special canvas.
Just popped in my head when they had the 205 logo on. But yeah, no, it makes it feel more part of the show instead of wasting the fucking time.
Sideshow, yeah.
Yeah, so, and if they were back on purple for 205 Live, cool.
For that show, that's fine, but we don't need to change them on Raw and all of that. So, all right, SmackDown and Battleground coming up this weekend. SmackDown this week.
Oh, what else can I talk about? Raw, I don't want to talk about Battleground.
Let's talk Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Good match between those two. The way they got into it was kind of clunky with, again, all the women standing around in the back with Shane, and a heel decides, or makes the suggestion, well, why don't those two face each other, the teacup ladies or whatever. And so
woo, Davari.
So it was a good match between those two. Becky Lynch getting the win, which to me it was kind of almost obvious, because in their little backstage segment when when Charlotte was like, "Oh, but Charlotte said Shane wants a match that's going to be competitive," and Becky Lynch, of course, took offense to that. And then Charlotte's like, "Well, I always beat you." And so to me, when she said that, it was like, well, Becky Lynch has to win then tonight, which is exactly what happened. Good back and forth. Becky Lynch
gave him some time, too.
And it shows the struggles that Charlotte's having on SmackDown, too.
Yeah.
She really hasn't been winning one-on-one matches on SmackDown, so, it kind of furthers that for more frustration down the road.
Yep. But yeah, it was a good match. Afterwards, those two shake hands. But then, of course, here comes... with Lana, Natty attacks from behind. Everybody fights, but again, it's Tamina and Lana standing tall after all of this. So let's start with
your prediction
for this match. Predictions. It's Lana versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte versus Natalya. 5-way elimination style match for the number one contendership at SummerSlam, facing Naomi. Your thoughts, Joe?
Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah.
No, we're over that now.
I honestly, in the same sense that I have no idea what's going to happen with Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and them, I've got no idea on this one. Anybody could honestly go on to face Naomi at SummerSlam, but I mean, I want it to be either Becky Lynch or Charlotte, honestly. I think one of those two is going to be the best fit and best match for the show.
Taco, your thoughts?
Well, it's going to be a hard fight, but Lana's definitely going to win it due to Tamina interference. And then she's going to go on to SmackDown to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion.
I think the Lana story has been played and done.
Yeah, you're right. Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch won't win because she won tonight. Charlotte won't win because she's a babyface, and they don't want babyface versus babyface at a big event. So it's either got to be Natalya or Tamina. I'm going with Natalya here.
I would be okay
because
with.
It's going to be a good match at SummerSlam, a nice one-on-one. Tamina's not ready to have a big SummerSlam one-on-one match, and she stood tall today on SmackDown.
Do they really care about the women's SmackDown match at SummerSlam right now?
Well, I think they want to put on a good show, and I don't think throwing Tamina out there with Lana as the heater in a singles match. But I could be wrong. But they did because they stood tall today on SmackDown. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it goes to Natalya. So that's what I think. All right, the Punjabi.
I think Natalya deserves a title run. Personally, myself,
I would like a nice title run for Natalya.
Something.
That's what I was telling you before.
Let's have Natalya win it and have a nice long run, and then have either babyface Becky Lynch or Charlotte win it in a big match at like the Royal Rumble or something like that. Maybe Survivor Series. Now they're going to do a crazy multi-team fucking thing probably for Survivor Series. So probably have her hold it till Royal Rumble. I think that would be cool. So anyway, a Punjabi prison match. Let's skip right to the main event. That's how SmackDown started with the Punjabi prison being presented, and then the Singh brothers explaining what the rules are, because Jinder can't talk for too long because he gets hoarse.
Because you people won't listen to him.
Right,
you people.
I'm sorry,
people don't know what talent is. You people bring him down. You people.
What do you mean,
realize
you people?
What? Yeah, you're right.
So Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton in the promo climbed to the top of the Punjabi prison and cut a promo on Jinder. Looked very uncomfortable sitting
I
atop.
thought it was a good promo, though.
Yeah, no, he was good. It was fine. It wasn't.
I just like that it came in spurts, and he just kept climbing a couple steps and then saying more, and a couple more steps, and even more, and then finally at the top.
So who wins the Punjabi prison match? Taco.
I am definitely going to say that. Yeah, I'm good. Jinder is going to retain in this one, but I actually think it might be a surprise of the night. These two guys, they got to go out there and put everything on the line to, fucking give us something out of this feud.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you, too. I think Jinder actually retains, just one, because of the Punjabi prison, and two, again, Orton is just better at chasing something. We don't want Orton as champion. We just had it, not too long ago, and how did that go? So
right.
I'd rather I'd actually just take the chance on Jinder. Let's keep rolling with the heat. Go maybe change it up a little bit after the Randy Orton. We get something new.
Yeah, it's time for something new. You're right. I think Jinder keeps this thing by hook or by crook. It is the Punjabi prison. The holes are so big that the Bollywood boys can climb right through them. There's the convoluted rules where you ask somebody to open the door, but then it's only open for 60 seconds, and then it closes never to be opened again. So
he couldn't even explain the rules correctly.
Well, that's why the Bollywood boys had to do it. So, but
they couldn't either.
They explained it right.
Yeah, but what about the time he cut off? And it's never gonna never.
Right, because that's how it goes. Once it closes, it will never open again. And then how do you get out? Who knows? You have to tune in to watch. But yeah, Jinder's going to keep it. We got to move away from Jinder and Orton. We need something new here. Could it be Nakamura? Could it be Baron Corbin, who's got the briefcase? Probably not, because he's a heel. But yeah, Nakamura, AJ Styles,
Mojo Rawley.
Mojo Rawley.
Oh, Mojo.
You never know. But yeah, I think Jinder keeps it by hook or by crook. Kofi took on Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso got the fluke win with the roll through after a top rope cross body from Kofi. Kofi looked awesome in this match, pulling out some new moves, getting
got a one-man unicorn stampede.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, the one-man unicorn stampede.
I actually really like that spot a lot because rest in peace, Talking Smack, where it is they're canceling it.
Yes, we should. That sucks.
Fucking bullshit.
It's still going to be after pay-per-views, but not every week. That sucks. Yes.
When the New Day came back, I don't remember what the match was or anything, but they were talking about the rules, and the New Day were calling them out on the rule book and everything. And, and New Day started spitting out rules from the rule book, and
I remember that one. Yeah.
Did you know you can only save your tag team partner once in the match, otherwise you get disqualified? And Daniel Bryan was like, "I'm pretty sure you guys did that multiple times." And no, we didn't. So, but I like Daniel Bryan even he's like, "I didn't know that."
Enough of you talking that flim flam, that booty shot.
Sorry.
So it was like a good little detail that I thought it made me think about that Talking Smack episode specifically, and Kofi knowing the rules on him, doing his own unicorn stampede, just over, going out, coming back in, starting the new count, going out, coming back in, starting a new count. So it was a good little detail that I really appreciate.
So who's gonna win on Sunday? Predictions. Usos versus the New Day for the tag team championships.
Is this no DQ?
This one, I think, is just straight up, isn't it?
I feel like they did something so they couldn't do no bullshit losses.
Did I? Let's see. I didn't put anything in there.
And I don't remember anything myself.
I know Dan and Bryan might.
Either way, New Day's walking out with those titles heading into SummerSlam.
New Day champs. What do you think they're talking about?
I'm going Usos.
I really like the Usos. I actually want to see them retain here, but I'm with Joe. I think the New Day is going to take the titles.
But even though I agree with both of you, I think Usos heading into SummerSlam as the heel tag team, I think it's better to have a heel hold the title and have the babyface win at the big event. It just has a bigger and better feel than, say, the heel just getting one over on the babyface.
Well, now I'm changing my mind. Now I think the Usos are going to win. Or keep the titles anyway, leading to the rematch at SummerSlam, because that makes sense, actually. Yeah. So I'm changing my mind. Good job, Joe. You've convinced me to disagree with you.
Nice.
Mike Kanellis versus Sami Zayn. Mike Kanellis does get
Maria and Mike Kanellis.
He gets the fluke win. Again, another fluke win with the punch and the Samoan driver after Maria Kanellis comes in and just blocks Sami Zayn from continuing offense.
It was a goddamn disqualification.
I liked how you were going off like, come on, ref, what are you doing? Get her out of there. What's going on here? Why are you letting this continue?
Well, that's the problem. I have no problem with a valet standing on the side of the ropes and everything, but to actually be physically stopping a wrestler in a match, it's a little too far for me on that one. See, I love the characters.
I liked it because it's that, that crazy wife, that overprotective wife. Now she's going in your fucking matches to get in your way to protect you. Ooh, that brings you down the moral points even more. So I liked it. I enjoyed the. It was good showing, I thought, for Mr. Kanellis over there. I even like the finisher too. I almost wish I was fucking Ty Dillinger's finisher. Christ,
the Samoan driver or whatever it's called.
I just don't like Ty Dillinger's finisher anymore.
The new tiebreaker.
I don't like the new tiebreaker. I like the old tiebreaker, but it was such a common move in Japan. Honestly,
I'm honestly not the big Ty Dillinger fan, to be honest.
That's because you have a tiny penis.
Goroshi. That was the old tiebreaker. That was my bad
Joe?
Morrow impression there. Right. All right. What was I talking about here again? Cena versus Rusev in the flag match.
Yeah, that's cool.
We got a really
Bulgaria. Got
a really passionate promo from
Bulgaria.
Cena today on SmackDown. Yeah, I feel like even though it was a long, quote, passionate promo from Cena, I even feel like Cena's like, this is so fucking stupid.
It's just forced patriotism. It's just so unneeded right now, especially when you have fucking Jinder saying "you people" over and over.
You got Jinder doing the "you people" thing, Cena and Rusev doing the foreign menace. You got Kevin Owens doing the face of America shit.
Yeah, hey, 1980s call. They want their characters back.
Yeah. So anyway, what are we doing in the flag match? What do you think?
Predictions.
It's gonna be Cena.
Rusev crush.
You know Rusev?
I'm going Rusev just because I want.
He needs to look good.
I don't think Cena's going to be back for a little while after this one. Maybe not till SummerSlam.
He just got back.
Yeah, that's John Cena.
SummerSlam's next month.
He's not Lesnar.
Yeah, and he'll still be gone. I think he will. But I want Rusev to walk out because you can't have this entire time and then have Rusev come back and just honestly job to Cena.
Especially when he's demanding title matches.
And not getting any answers.
Well, here's the thing, though. So grab the flag, take it to the finish line, a.k.a. the stage, put it in the thing. And also, I'm thinking, because it's a gimmick match, it's probably...
This match, anything goes!
Which usually favors the heel, which makes me lean towards Rusev. But with Cena coming back, Rusev coming back... I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a Cena win, leading to
try to figure out how to get you to disagree again.
Leading into something. I want Rusev to win. I think
we all do.
I think Rusev needs the win here. I think it would look good for
I think
Rusev.
we're all getting it wrong, too. I believe it is handsome Rusev, isn't it?
I think you're right. But yeah, I'm leaning. I think it's going to be Cena getting the win here. Let's see what else. The Fashion X-Files. The truth is not Aish.
I want to believe.
Our truth is out there. I fucking love that. The delivery guy, he turns on the light. It's like the X-Files lighting. He gives them the package. They open the package. Don't look in the package. Don't take it out.
What's in the box?
It's the horse head of the toy horse that Fandango was riding when it was the Walker Fashion Files
Runway Rangers or something like
Runway Walkers Texas Rangers. That's what it was. So
the eyeballs were ripped out of the thing too. It was morbid.
Right. Well, I love how they're playing into the other Fashion Files things. So speculation, who is Breezango facing at Battleground? Joe, what do you think?
Predictions.
No fucking clue.
I I see.
That's the third time you're saying this. WWE is doing something right.
And I'll give them credit on that. But what tag teams are left, in my sense? Who is left to honestly have attacked Breezango?
Well,
we know it's not Ascension. They took those any money tickets.
Well, I mean, they already kind of did the thing with Mojo and
Ryder
and
Clinton Dix.
Clinton Dix.
But I guess they kind of ruled them out already, but they haven't had their big breakup moment yet. So I mean, you could go that way. Taco, what are your thoughts on these? Who are they facing?
Don't know. Like, what the fuck is going on with the tag division right now? Without
American Alpha on there now, I mean, what do we have fucking left?
And they ruled out fucking. Well, did they rule out Aiden English just because he was warming up his vocal cords, but because he was involved?
That was it's just English warming up.
Here's what I think. Chad Gable, he teased that he's got some interesting things, some surprises coming up in that interview. What if he teams up with somebody else that doesn't have anything else going on? Ty Dillinger. But is it in these two guys' character? I mean, I guess
I really wouldn't like that, even though I like Ty Dillinger. I want to see Chad succeed on his own at this point. The American Alpha was just a perfect combination when it happened. You're not going to just throw Chad Gable with someone else and it's just going to work like that.
Authors of Pain, perhaps?
See,
I would love to see that, but it's no.
Call up would be cool, but a new tag team debut would be cool. A nice surprise because it'd be like, oh fuck, no wonder why no one knew you were here.
How much longer do we got on TM61?
I'm sure a long time.
Wow.
Still, really?
A long time. Yeah, his was like several knee ligaments or something. It was bad.
It was 8 to 10 months roughly.
And I don't think they're ready either
to main roster, especially after an injury.
No. But it's probably something completely obvious that we'll all be slapping our heads on. Spirit Squad.
Mean Street Posse. Thanks, Shane.
Exactly.
Mean Street Posse, man.
Before the tag match, the big main event, AJ and Nakamura versus Kevin Owens and Corbin, Nakamura points to the U.S. title and says, if you give me a call, I'll show up, or whatever he said. So a little nice.
Someday I'll answer.
Nice. Go ahead, somebody.
No, it's just a good lead up. Again, they've been teasing us and dicking us about the whole Nakamura AJ Styles thing. They're just building it up. I don't think we get that one until WrestleMania, though.
No, yeah, you're probably right on that. But yeah, I like the little tease in there. So what do you think about Nakamura versus Baron Corbin on Battleground? Taco?
Predictions.
Well, you gotta keep Nakamura looking like strong. So strong style. So I'm predicting Nakamura to walk out of this one, especially since Corbin has the belt, but the briefcase. But I'm actually looking forward to this one. I feel like it's a good person for Corbin to work with.
Sure.
Because Nakamura's he's going to want to go hard, King of Strong Style. So, and who's better for Corbin to face than King of Strong Style? So I'm not a big Corbin fan, but I'm interested to see where this is going to be, and I think this might be. I'm hoping for this dude's best match yet.
Joe, what do you think?
I agree with
your
Taco.
prediction.
I'm gonna go with Nakamura in the sense that you got to keep him strong. You got to keep the lead on, especially if they are leaning towards AJ Styles and even the United States title belt. If we do get it at SummerSlam, which would be amazing.
You think they got a new belt coming? You say?
No. Just the U.S. title belt, just the challenge,
match.
just the match itself. I mean, I want to keep him looking strong going into an AJ Styles match, and Baron Corbin with the briefcase. He's always strong. He can hit you at any time. He can win that title at any time, and I'm hoping because they've been working together so much lately, and probably even on house shows, that, like Taco said, we're going to get a much higher pace, better match from Baron Corbin, and pretty much your standard for Nakamura.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think Nakamura gets the win, but it might be kind of ugly. Nakamura is going to look strong the whole match, I think. But he might get a win via DQ. I think they come back to this. I really do.
It's definitely not over.
Yeah, I think they come back to this probably at SummerSlam.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Nakamura probably. Now I'm thinking Baron Corbin might win. Actually, yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I think Nakamura looks strong in the match, pretty much dominates the match, but Baron Corbin ekes out a win by slipping on the banana peel or gets a DQ loss probably. So that would be a Nakamura win.
I'm leaning on him having a temper tantrum and that kind of continuing
beating the shit out of
feud
him
'cause
after
he
the
can't
match.
get over it.
Sure. That's definitely a possibility there. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I think this should be a good match, one to look forward to on a show that's not all that intriguing to be.
I see. That's so fucking disappointing because Great Balls of Fire, laughing since day one, making fun of day one since day one. How many fucking logo changes have they gone since day one? How many weeks did the fucking commentators not even mention Great Balls of Fire until they started mentioning it again? Fucking awesome card, good fucking show. Battleground, I fucking love the layout of it. I love the presentation of it. I love the fucking name. I love the idea of it. What the fuck is going on with this card?
I think it's just, I mean, now that I'm looking at it on paper, it actually looks like a good card, but it's just the fact that it's the flag match gimmick. It's the Punjabi prison gimmick. You know, it's all of that stuff we're talking about.
All but right before SummerSlam, too.
Right, but Kevin Owens versus AJ should be good. The Orton Jinder match itself, the interaction between those two should be good. Same thing with Cena and Rusev. It's a stupid gimmick, but what's the match itself, the meat and potatoes of it, should be good. Usos versus New Day, that should be really fucking good, actually. You know, the women's match, elimination style, at least it's that. You know, it's not the thing I'm looking forward to the most, and then again, Nakamura and Baron Corbin, I'm looking forward to that one.
Like we were talking about earlier, I'm not going to watch it live. I might wait an hour or two so I can, get the meat and potatoes out of her.
Yeah. Again, there's 4 G1 Climax shows over the next few days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm with you, Taco. I'm going to be, if I get to Battleground, I'm going to be getting to the meat and potatoes of Battleground, if you know what I'm saying. One more match to predict, and that is Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for the United States Championship. AJ, of course, winning at the house show. We didn't really talk about this too much last week. What did you think about?
It happened after we recorded.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Anyway,
quit making shit up, Joe.
I'm sorry.
But what did you think about AJ winning at the Madison Square Garden house show? And where are you going prediction wise between these two at a Battleground?
Your prediction.
I'm honestly just, I want AJ Styles to keep it, but because he won it at Madison Square Garden, I think
it's not even a pay-per-view.
I think he's gonna lose it to Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. I think there was two reasons
or SummerSlam.
for Battleground.
Okay.
But because they needed something for Madison Square Garden, they needed something big. They love to pull out stuff at MGS. And then 2, they can just have it plop right back into Kevin Owens' lap at Battleground just to keep this feud going even longer.
Taco,
fuck you.
I'm against Joe on this one. I think AJ Styles is going to retain it. It's going to be, fucking should be a barn burner of a fucking match, though. But I'm leaning on AJ retaining, seeing as we got kind of teased with that John Cena Open Challenge, and we kind of got Nakamura putting his place in line for the Open Challenge. So, I think AJ Styles is going to run with the Open Challenge for a little bit until SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good match. As far as Madison Square Garden goes, yeah, it's okay once in a while to have something big happen on a house show.
It was perfect timing they did that, though. It got more eyes on Smackdown for that week. They got so much fucking social media attention over it. Like, fucking brilliant move on their part.
Yeah. The only thing it does, the only thing it points out to me or reiterates is that the matches on TV most of the time don't really matter. The actual wrestling, because it's every other match, it's distractions, it's bullshit, it's just crazy.
Distractions, too many distractions.
It's crap going on. So somebody winning a title on a house show just points out, well, you don't have to watch what's going on TV anyway, because shit happens at house shows, shit happens at the pay-per-views, nothing happens on TV.
See, I don't look at it that way
at
all.
And here's the thing: is that's not. It's what was I getting at? That it's that's not like my majority opinion as far as I agree with. I agree with you.
If it was like a house show at like the Staples Center or a house show at Madison Square Garden, yeah, I get that. But if it was like a house show in Fargo, North Dakota, or fucking Peoria, Illinois, no one gives a fuck about those cities. Like, ooh, food, yeah, then I can see that kind of point of view. But at the same time, I also see it like, hey, we should probably go to a fucking house show, like
Right.
It kind of, I feel like it brings more interest into house shows instead of like, yeah, the fucking world title's online, but no one's gonna win that fucking shit.
No, but my point is that it reiterates the fact that WWE, all you got to do is watch WWE TV. I'm talking about Raw and SmackDown. The matches that happen on Raw and SmackDown, for the most part, you can skip them. You can fast forward and go right to the finish, because what happens in the match, they don't tell the stories in the ring. They tell the stories on the microphone and through the bullshit finishes. And so if you do title changes on house shows and you do the big matches on the pay-per-views, you can skip Raw and SmackDown, listen to the best pro wrestling podcast, and then just watch the big events.
And then go on iTunes and give us a 5-star review.
Correct!
That is a 5-star review.
That is exactly...
Well, you're exactly right.
Anyway, so that was SmackDown. Let's talk. Let's really change the subject and talk a little bit of the G1 Climax.
Are we doing it now?
Ooh, just a little.
Just a little.
Just the tip.
Where'd my thing go here?
King of Sport. New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So, yes, the G1 Climax just started.
G.I. Climax.
And it started on Monday morning for the United States, Monday night in Japan. And it was the beginning of the nearly month-long round-robin tournament. I am going to talk about this, of course, on Strong Honor this week. I'm going to talk G1 Climax, Ring of Honor TV, and I'm also going to talk Revolution Pro had a nice little tournament a couple of weeks back, and it was finally on their streaming service.
Good job on last week's episode, too, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But Rev Pro, the British J Cup, was a show that I watched. A couple of really great.
Jacob. Yeah.
I'll just mention briefly here, a couple of really awesome matches from that show. Kushida versus Kyle O'Reilly, and Matt Riddle versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Wow.
So, a couple of really good matches, and a bit of you could almost call it maybe a final meeting between like O'Reilly and Kushida, because of where potentially O'Reilly is going. Kushida obviously not looking to move away from New Japan anytime soon. So really interesting stuff there. So I'll talk about that and this week's Ring of Honor TV on Strong Honor. We had the big Cody celebration this week, and he was really over with the Ring of Honor crowd again. So again, opposite of the New Japan crowd for Cody Rhodes. But we'll talk about that on Strong Honor. But getting back to the G1 Climax, night one, what a night. We had 5 awesome matches for the A block, or I should the A block.
A block.
For the night one of the G1 Climax. So we all filled out our prediction brackets.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk predictions a little bit before we kind of get into it here. Now, last week, if you listened to Strong Honor, I talked about different scenarios, different predictions. I actually filled out, and I'm holding 2 different prediction brackets in my hand. And after listening to other podcasts and other speculation and reading some things, I got to thinking, both of these are probably wrong. And I was thinking this before I watched any G1 Climax matches, and I got to thinking, both of these are probably wrong, and it's probably going to be Naito winning the whole thing. But again, with my first prediction, I went chronologically through the matches, went with my gut, and it turned out to be basically, after a couple of minor tweaks, Kota Ibushi versus Kenny Omega. That's my first draft prediction, and that's my official prediction that I'm going to go with for our pick'em bet or whatever. But my second one, I picked Okada and Tanahashi going to the finals, kind of bringing back that old rivalry. But I really think it's probably gonna, despite my predictions, I think it's gonna be Naito and probably somebody like Suzuki, or let me see who else is in that other block. Certainly could be Okada. Certainly could be somebody like Elgin, possibly. Although it's hard to say. Certainly Omega, a possibility, but I really like Naito being the winner, going in and challenging Okada. Okada and Naito at the Tokyo Dome. Ugh. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
That's like almost main event status. What do you think?
That's big time main event, baby. But then the question is, what do you do with everybody else? What do you do for Tanahashi? I mean, obviously you could do the Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega thing for the United States Championship at Wrestle Kingdom. So there are definitely options for those ongoing storylines or whatever. But for my official prediction, I will stick with Omega and Ibushi, since that was my first draft that I made. I will stick with that. And after night one, my predictions are not doing well. I had one correct prediction for night one, and that was Zack Sabre Jr. Defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi. We'll get into that match here in a minute, but how did you guys do night one as far as predictions go?
I need to know who won.
You need to know who won. Well, we can.
Well, I mean, we can go through it.
We'll kind of go through it here, and then we'll get an update on how Joe did. Joe, talk about your process.
My process for this was, one, I did not leave myself enough time, even though I had half a month to get this together, and I did not do pretty much any research. I just went through, like you said, kind of with my gut. And just with what little storyline I had from New Japan, and went for it, right. And I didn't change it at all.
Because you are not as familiar with the New Japan stuff. You kind of watch what I show you over here,
what I can find on YouTube.
You hear me talking about the names. Yeah, you've seen a couple. You saw Wrestle Kingdom this year.
Strong Honor
some
every
big matches.
week.
Sometimes he listens to clips of Strong Honor. Yeah, usually
all the time.
Every week. Download 5-star review.
So, but I like Joe's approach of just kind
of.
I
want to be the wild card.
Being sure. Being the lady in the office that knows nothing about the NCAA tournament, but and then ends up winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I like tennis. No.
Well, Taco, how did you do your night one predictions?
I feel like I have a lot to say about this. To be honest,
well, do you want me to should I just go through the matches and
let's go through the matches real quick, and I'll kind of go through my mindset on everything.
I'm going to skip the undercard. I'll talk about that on Strong Honor. But as far as the A block matches themselves, first one, Yuji Nagata versus Yoshihashi. They talked about on the English commentary how Yoshihashi defeated Kenny Omega on the opening night of the G1 Climax last year. Me personally, I'm not a big Yoshihashi guy. The loose explosion, his moveset just doesn't do a whole lot for me. It just doesn't come off as a very strong moveset. I just don't connect with Yoshihashi here.
He's one of the guys I had to Google.
And I was hoping that he would get a win, but or that Nagata would get a win, actually. But it was Yoshihashi getting the win with Karma. Nagata dominates early in the match with strikes and slaps and kicks. Nagata escapes the butterfly lock late in the match. Yoshihashi escapes an arm breaker. Hits his headhunter clothesline for a near fall and then goes over with Karma. But yeah, Nagata getting a near submission with his Nagata lock thing where he rolls his eyes back into his head. Taka, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it was a good opener match for this.
And where was your prediction on this one?
Oh, my prediction, I actually was correct on this one with Yoshihashi winning.
See, there you go.
I also scored with Yoshihashi.
Bad Luck Fale versus Togi Makabe.
Bad Luck Fail.
Scotty 2 Makabe.
Bad Luck Fail, the Unchained...
G1 Climax.
Unchained Gorilla. But where is...
I guess that's coming.
Anyway. Bad Luck Fale counters the King Kong knee and hits the grenade and gets the win. So a win for Fale on night one. Any thoughts on that, Taco? Did you get your prediction right there?
No, I actually did not. Was this the match where he was dragging him up the fucking ring with his chain? Or up the entrance? Or did I dream that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, because Makabe comes out with the big chain around his neck.
Yeah, he's got the chain around his neck.
Fale fucking grabbed him around the fucking throat with it and drug him up.
Okay, yeah.
I might have made that up. Fuck, there's so much happening.
That sounds awesome.
It sounds
it
sounds familiar. I didn't take a lot of notes on this match. To be honest, I didn't even bother with a star rating on this one. So just because it's Fale and Makabe, they're kind of undercard guys. They were.
That little spot kind of stuck out to me though, because he tried to get out the quick count out win. So
sure. So then it was Hirooki Goto versus Tomohiro Ishii. I gave this one 3.5 stars. Interesting matchup here. Both of these guys in the same faction, both of them Chaos guys. Very fast start. They're trying to take each other down with fast shoulder tackle attempts and strikes. Ishii hits a big second rope superplex after a top rope headbutt battle. Goto wins this fighting spirit clotheslines battle where they just keep hitting each other hard as fuck with clotheslines.
Yes,
Nobody's
sir.
going down. And finally, Goto wins it by knocking down Ishii. Hits a jackknife powerbomb for a near fall. More fighting spirit clotheslines. You get a double down, a bunch of strikes, and then finally it was Goto winning it with the GTR. Again, I think I had Ishii in this one with my only... Yeah, I did because I only had the one correct prediction here. But how did you guys fare in the Goto versus Ishii predictions?
I had Ishii.
I also had Ishii.
So there you go.
I do have...
But hell of a match, though, Taka.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
So
it
like
was.
this one. Then Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. All three of us, even Joe, got to see this one. We watched some of this during SmackDown today. I gave this one 4 stars, a very good match. Zack Sabre Jr. gets the win with a very intense arm submission after countering a high fly flow off the top. This match, to me, was all about Tanahashi's bicep injury, having the arm and the...
I forgot all about that fucking shit when I was filling out my bracket.
But yeah, he's got his arm all wrapped up. I love the beginning of the match where they're just kind of, sizing each other up. But
I like the fact that at the beginning, Zack Sabre Jr. wasn't focusing on his arm. He was focusing on his leg.
Well, here's what was cool to me. So beginning of the match when they're just kind of sizing each other up, Tanahashi kind of catches himself leading with his right arm, but then switches his stance to keep the injured arm away from him. And then, so Zack Sabre's like, fine, motherfucker, you want to keep your arm away from me? I'll go after your legs. So he goes after the legs, therefore freeing up the arm, and then as soon as he gets the chance to grab the fucking arm, he's on that arm like a fucking, he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And so that was just
all over him.
Just a fun
I
story.
absolutely loved rewatching this match with Joe because Joe was just like, ah!
It's the way he bends it. He's digging
really
his freaking knuckles into his ribs and into his bicep.
Yeah, I love those little details of just like the older brother on top of you, just like stop hitting yourself.
I mean, even the foot placement,
ripping off his bandage and just the little smacks on it. It's like that doesn't look like it hurts, but it does.
And that's the thing is, even if, and I'm hoping this is the grandest work of them all, because this goes back to when Tanahashi was doing them Ring of Honor dates. They said, Tanahashi injured.
Oh no, he's all purple up there and
injured
shit.
his bicep. So regardless, whether it's a work or not, I just love that that there's this story going into the tournament, and that Tanahashi can actually kind of have a fairly easy tournament where guys are just working on his arm the whole time, and instead of doing a bunch of crazy high fly flows. I mean, you can get 1 or 2 in there, but yeah, just a great match, definitely worth it. Then main event, night 1, Kota Ibushi versus.
Hold on. I didn't get points.
No.
I got points.
You did?
I got points.
That was my only victory as far as points goes. with Zack Sabre getting the win.
I did
over
remember
Tanahashi.
his arm, even though I don't do much research. I did remember the arm.
Then main event, Kota Ibushi taking on Tetsuya Naito. Kota Ibushi's big return to New Japan as it's being billed. They're ignoring, or they're kayfabing the Tiger Mask W thing, which I like. Naito, I love the Naito was like, I don't really care what he does outside of New Japan. I'm not following it. He goes to WWE, I don't give a fuck. So I love that Naito doesn't give a fuck. I love the beginning of this match. Naito famous for wearing the suit, taking his time. The bigger the match, the longer it takes for him to get out of his suit, and even the longer it usually takes for him to lock up with his opponent.
I even loved what Joe said too, of his eyes are just dead inside, and it's like, well, they should be with who he is. Like,
that's how
his history.
Nothing there.
That's how tranquilo he is. But yeah, the beginning of this match, instead of he takes a long time to get the suit off, but then you're expecting him to do the delayed lockup thing where he refuses to lock up with the opponent. Tranquilo, settle down. But then he locks up right away. They have a nice little exchange. Then Naito spits in his face. Then that fires up Kota Ibushi. They do the big spot. Looks like he's going to hit the big dive. Then he does the Tranquilo flip, lands lays down in the middle of the ring, taunts Kota Ibushi some more, and then then he's doing the delayed hookups. So just Naito being a dick, fucking, enticing, just fucking.
The commentator was even good to point out too, like Ibushi is an emotional fighter, so
yes,
that really helps that too.
So yeah, a lot of fun stuff there, and then Naito focusing on the neck, hitting the big big suplex on the apron. What kind of was that? Just that was the drag, or not the dragon, the German suplex on the apron, just doing all the stuff, focusing on Ibushi's neck, focusing on softening him up for the Destino. I don't often pop for matches at all, but especially at home watching on my couch.
It was so fun to watch it with you, seeing it for the first time.
Dude, I was popping at the same exact times you were.
I don't know that I've ever seen a second rope pile driver before.
It was. I watched this match 3 times, and it was scary all fucking 3 times watching that shit.
Second rope pile driver, I pop, I lose my shit.
The trust level with those guys to want to even mention that, let alone perform it at the opening night of the G1 Climax, is insane.
I forgot also to mention the top rope reverse Rana that Naito hits for a near fall. Ibushi counters Destino and throws Naito like a dart into the turnbuckle at one point.
That was so good.
That was crazy. Ibushi does the hangman German suplex from the apron into the ring for a near fall. Does the backflip kick to Naito sitting on the top rope. That was crazy. The pile driver from the second rope that I talked about. Then fucking Naito hits the Destino. I fucking pop. I'm like, oh shit, that's it. Ibushi kicks out. I pop again. I'm like, oh fuck, he kicked out a fucking Destino. Then he hits it a second time for the finish. Naito got the win. 5-star match.
I'm glad they didn't drag that ending out. That was the thing. Is like they could have just kept going, doing the whole back and forth thing with the finishers. I like that he hit his finisher twice in a row without hesitation and got the win.
Yeah, that is a nice touch. He kicks out of the first attempt. Boom, hits it right away again, right to the finish. So yeah, I love that. That's some fighting spirit.
I did not score points on that.
So yeah, like I said,
did.
I only had the one victory. Sounds like you had
4.
4. Wow.
I got 4 points.
4 correct.
2 correct.
2 correct. All right. Well, let's establish something. Right. Let's establish something.
Let's get right.
Let's establish what the points. I think for I'm thinking just for a correct match. Let's just make it 1 point to make it easy, so you can just do hash marks. I don't know what Joe's doing. He's holding up fingers now.
No, I'm at 3. Well, you just cut it in half.
Okay.
I got 3 right.
Okay.
I'm in the lead.
So
I'm winning.
So Joe's got 3 points. Taco has 2. I have 1. So now let's make it more interesting, though. So if the point total at the end, if you get that point total correct for an individual wrestler, let's make that, 3 points?
Ooh, get some extra points in there? Bonus points?
Bonus points?
Oh, for the finals?
Pretty much. If you get correct, are you saying basically if we guess the exact amount that wrestler gets?
Correct. So, for instance, I have Hiroshi Tanahashi with 12 points. So if at the end...
Whoa, man, we are way off.
If at the end of the tournament...
He has 6.
Tanahashi has 12 points, which, would be 6 victories.
Yes.
If I match that, I would get X amount of points. But let's say Makabe, for my prediction, I have him having 2 points, but let's say he has 4, then I wouldn't get a bonus for that, obviously.
I like that.
So
I kind of like it. Let's throw a wild card.
So
there.
what should we do? If you,
I say 3. That's just don't make it too out of control.
3 points for an accurate point prediction, and then should we do another bonus for actual winners of the block being predicted correctly?
Yeah,
we could do like a 5-point bonus.
Do a 5 point for the winners of the block, and then the winner of the entire tournament. Does that if you get that?
Let's go kill shot. You just get the 10 points right off that win.
10 points for
10 points kill shot
for predicting.
Fuck it, let's go to loony bin.
Let's do this
on record with my first draft prediction where I predicted Ibushi and Omega. I'm saying Omega gets the victory. I honestly don't think this is going to happen now.
I just see Tommy going back and listening to this. All right, so 5 points for this. Shit, I got to remember all this fucking shit.
We're on record. It's on, and I'll write it down at some point. But yes,
I will say I'm going to throw it out there just because you've mentioned yours a few times. I've actually got Zack Sabre Jr. fighting Omega in the finals.
Okay, yeah, that's right. We should. And Taco, what do you got in the finals?
All right, I have Naito and Elgin.
Nice.
So I like that. Yeah.
With my A block,
You're gonna win.
I I went to a rock show this weekend in Wisconsin, so I was like, I'll fill it on the way there. No fucking reception, cut off from the fucking world. So I was trying to go through every fucking scenario possible on this. I fucking filled it from the beginning of it to the end of it to the end of it to the beginning of it, bracket wise, forward, back. I fucking filled them out all sorts of ways. And it all came down to the final fucking night with the bracket on me on this one.
Yep.
For A block wise, I pretty much have Tanahashi running all the way through, and I have Naito winning all the way through with one loss. Because they both face each other second to last night. So with Naito pinning Tanahashi that night, they would both get 16 points. Naito would win. So I went with that route. With the B block, though, I kind of went with a different route. With Yano being on there, he's known for having his upsets.
Yes.
With night one, he kind of dodged Okada Rainmaker that night. So I don't know if you saw that at all.
Yep.
So I kind of I had my pick before that though, but I kind of furthered my thought that I think he is gonna somehow weasel a win out of Okada.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm really stretching for that one, but
I gotta find my win for Toru Yano. I've only got one win for him.
I actually have Okada losing 3 matches, and I actually have Omega losing 3 matches because they are the champions.
Who else is Okada losing to?
I have Okada losing to Yano, Suzuki, and Sonata.
Interesting.
Because I feel like Sonata is going to be, because he's big breakout star. So I
hope so.
I think he's going to look really good in this event. I don't have him going over 8 points though. But
see, for me, I've got what I like about my B block is I've got the leading up into the Okada Omega 3. Basically, the winner of that match is winning the block. They're both at the same amount of points, but I've got Omega taking number 3 just because, again, it gets him kind of in that picture with Okada again, but because of the win, but it also doesn't take the title away from Okada.
See, that's why I have Okada and Omega losing the 3 matches. I put too much fucking thought in this, all right? This is why I have them losing 3 matches, though, because they are the last match of the whole fucking tournament. If they go to a draw, they each get 1 point. With the 3 losses, that would put them each at 11 points. I have Elgin with 12 points. So I feel like Okada and Omega are going to eliminate each other from the tournament.
I think that's a big time. That was more along the lines of what I did with my second win. Is I went, okay, so what if they eliminate each other and da 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 da, and that's why I ended up with.
Because just the big story. Suzuki has a championship. Omega has a brand new championship.
Yeah.
He has other guys he needs to be facing right now. Okada, I also want to see the story of Okada against Naito, and Naito pinning Okada to become the G1 Climax winner, because then you got that whole story telling like Naito beat him, he could do it again.
Yeah, and I think Suzuki is a big time possibility, like I mentioned for the B block, like Naito versus Suzuki
I have him high
in the
up
finals.
on there too.
Suzuki's got a good run for me.
That could be really
but,
good.
But Elgin, I kind of lean towards the Elgin side because he has his big return. He's had great good matches so far, but he kind of. He needs to be pushed further, along right now. So I feel like a good main event between Naito would be perfect.
I just think that the problem with Michael Elgin is the fact that he's everywhere. I mean, like, he's legitimately, like, I see him on WCPW, I see him on Ring of Honor, I see him on New Japan, I see him working so much. I think he eliminates himself. But more than ever with him, I see him more. And I see him everywhere, and I think he's just eliminating himself just because he's so fucking busy.
That's definitely a possibility. I was gonna talk Lucha Underground this week. But
you don't need to.
We're already, let's save it. Let's save it for we're gonna save it for next week because next week the New Japan talk is gonna be all on Strong Honor because there's gonna be way too much to talk about on this show. We'll table Lucha Underground and the Cueto Cup for next week. But let's kind of briefly just get into a little bit of NXT.
Change the subject.
Oh, we don't have to be brief.
I missed that, Joe. What was that one?
I don't know.
He said he likes his shit in his briefs.
You can't expect me to remember what I said 5 seconds ago, man.
I did want to talk NXT because we all managed to avoid a spoiler here, was the huge,
awesome,
big surprise debut of Bobby Fish.
Whoop, whoop.
That was so awesome. Like I popped. I was like, how did I not hear about this? This is great. You always hear spoilers on NXT debuts.
Just anybody debuting.
Coincidentally, so that the night I watched NXT, I went on Twitter and I praised. I was like, "This is awesome." I wasn't spoiled. I got to be surprised for once with a debut, and then the following day I got spoiled on another debut. I won't say what it is because Taco hasn't seen the spoiler yet.
I have not.
But that was such a fucking pleasant being out in the fucking field for 4 fucking days, cut off from society in a sense, and come back Monday, be like, oh fuck, I forgot I have some NXT to watch, and okay, Alex Black, okay, let's do that. Is that Bobby Fish? Yeah, it's such a fucking great surprise, man.
I'm just sitting there watching it, and unfortunately, my wife is usually forced to watch anything wrestling with me because she's just hanging out. And he comes out, and I just go, "Holy fuck, it's Bobby Fish!" She just looks at me and goes, "Who the fuck is Bobby Fish?"
Nice. All right, so it was Aleister Black versus Bobby Fish. Aleister Black gets the win with Black Mass.
Good fucking match.
It was really good, and I don't think Bobby Fish loses anything by losing to Aleister Black right away.
I think that's just a good way to bring him in and get him in with a new type of character. We know what Bobby Fish has. Aleister Black is technically still, proving himself in NXT.
And Bobby Fish got some really good offense in on the guy. It was a good competitive match.
Bobby Fish got to prove himself in NXT now.
I love the way that Aleister Black picks him up with his foot and then hits him with the fucking Black Mass.
Yes, that was very nice. Tommy says, last week's loss versus Sanity is Cassius Ohno's fault. Ohno says, you blame everyone but yourself, and I'm done. So it looks like the continuation of the story of the breakup between Cassius Ohno and Hideo Itami. The Street Profits are coming soon. That was a cell phone video of a break-in tour of the Performance Center.
I straight up thought this was just a really shitty WWE commercial.
For a second I did too, and then I'm like, oh, this is like a vignette thing. So it was interesting.
Crime Time 2.0.
I was kind of thinking that, but this felt a little more approved or something. I don't know.
Rhyme time.
Well, you're ruining it for me, damn it. I'm still in let's wait and see mode for
any of the NXT vignettes. I'm always in wait and see
passive aggressive time.
We gotta see it.
An interviewer attempts to interview the Velveteen Dream outside. He's not happy with the lighting or the setting and denies the interview. Vanessa Bourne took on Jamie is that Hashi? Anyway, Vanessa Bourne.
Yuki Nagagata.
Yeah, I can't make fun of. I can't make fun.
We're gonna have to censor that.
Yuji Nagagata.
But anyway, this was a Mae Young Classic qualifier. We haven't talked about much Mae Young Classic yet.
Except for that, I'm pumped.
I am pumped as well. There was some confusion. I think a lot of people thought that the Mae Young Classic was going to be airing sometime in July. I certainly thought so.
Me as well.
I was worried about it because of the G1 Climax.
No, I'm just retarded. Sorry, you guys.
But no, I don't blame you. I think it was kind of a common thing. But they did tape the first couple nights of it.
Yep.
It's going to air after
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, and then they're going to do
That sucks, man.
Right, a whole month I gotta avoid shit.
I love it because with the G1 Climax and all this stuff,
it's just like going on just Twitter right now, or even Facebook right now. It's like stepping through a fucking minefield.
I've been on there and I've managed to avoid spoilers. I think people are being good about it, and not to mention. The finals are going to be live, so we won't be spoiled on that. So that's nice.
It's 1+.
I didn't get a chance to see the Parade of Champions.
I didn't. I kind of ran through the list though a little bit.
Yeah, I looked at the list.
Fuck yeah, man! I'm so excited for them. I hope they keep 80% of these women, if anything.
From what I hear, they're signing at least 10.
They fucking need to get some fresh blood in there. Ship some to the main roster. Keep some on NXT, and the people have been kind of clamoring for a women's tag division too. Even Christ, you got fucking 32 women right there.
Sure.
stoked for Candice LeRae.
I was literally just going to mention, isn't Johnny Gargano's wife in it?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember her name,
That's
so thank
exciting.
you.
Candice LeRae, Kairi Sane, formerly Kairi Hojo. Seen some great. I haven't seen a ton of hers, but just some clips. But
Yeah.
wow, that top rope elbow is
Yeah.
awesome.
It's insane.
What's the other one? The former Kimber Lee. I can't remember her. I had it a second ago too.
Such a stupid
Was
name.
she used to be Rosita Love. She lost all that weight too.
I'm not familiar.
good
with
I
for her,
remember
man.
what. That's all I remember.
Yeah,
So that's going to
she
be
used to
interesting.
thick and
Yeah,
juicy
she was.
back
She
in
was
the
a
day.
big girl.
She's
Okay.
thick now, like healthy thick though. Like she changed her whole life around, kind of revamped her wrestling career, and now she's fucking Mae Young
Man,
Classic.
good
So
for
fucking
her.
awesome story right there.
So, getting back to NXT, Sanity beat up Drew McIntyre in the parking lot.
Chilling all fucking sexy
top
pose
of
on
his
his hood.
fucking car.
That was awesome.
I like how they called it fan footage. Someone was taping this. A fan nearby had his cell phone out. So I like
It's better than the fucking camera just being there.
Yes, I love that
love it.
they're giving excuses to why these things are being filmed. TikTok, it's time for the undefeated streak to end, says a Sanity member. Rude suggests it should be Killian Dane versus Drew McIntyre. They're both undefeated. Regal says that's a good idea. Number one contendership match next week. Hashtag otherwise this week. Then it's the Gargano return promo. He says he didn't see Ciampa's turn coming, and he has no idea why he did it. What did you say there?
Well, no shit, you didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe your skull maybe blasted against the fucking screen.
He says he needs to move forward and be at TakeOver Brooklyn and be Johnny Wrestling, and we had some awesome new music for Johnny Gargano. Any thoughts on it?
I mean, it was what it was. I honestly enjoyed Tommaso Ciampa. Is that how it's said?
Gargano?
No, I'm just saying Tommaso Ciampa. I enjoyed his promo before he left more than I enjoyed Gargano coming back. Honestly,
Yeah, it was pretty basic. It was just kind of him riling up the troops or whatever. Heavy Machinery versus Authors of Pain. This
was fun.
It's kind of been built up for a little while. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more competitiveness.
That's exactly what I expected.
Yeah,
But it was Authors of Pain getting the win with the last chapter. Big hot tag to Otis. Nice release belly to belly, but Authors of Pain win quickly after the hot tag. After the match, Sanity come out. Book pages fall from the ceiling, and Alexander Wolf eats the paper. So it looks like we're building up to a heel versus heel tag match at some point between Sanity and Authors of Pain. Any intrigue there?
it's something. Out of Sanity, those two are the ones that I've been enjoying the most. I really haven't enjoyed this group for what they've done because they really, in my mind, haven't done shit. They started trying to take over. Nikki Cross hasn't beat Asuka. Eric Young beat Ty Dillinger.
'cause
Wow,
you're stupid.
who hasn't beat Ty Dillinger? I'm going to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
Suck it, Ty Dillinger.
At that time, these two are heading in the right direction, and I like them as a tag team, honestly, even though Killian Dane is getting a single shot.
Yeah, I like Dane. I like
Wolf.
Wolf is okay to me. He hasn't. I don't think I'm as high on him as you, but I'm intrigued by.
I'm
the
waiting
tag
on his
matchup.
character to level out too. He's still, honestly, since he started picking up the mic, he's kind of been bouncing a little bit. He's trying to find that groove and that awkwardness that he is.
It works though, that awkwardness. It's part of them.
Yeah.
I'm not completely against the face versus face or heel versus heel situation as long as the right
I
story
love
is
it.
being told. So it's kind of perfect in this setting where Authors of Pain are eat, fuck, destroy, rip, fucking. We're here to
That is
fuck your wife and take your championships, basically. And then you have Insanity, who's just, we're here to eat popcorn in fucking Drew Galloway's car. What are you going to do? Like they're just fucking insane. You have Nikki Cross biting the fucking ring rope, so I love it because I can just already see the interaction between these two groups of Authors of Pain, what the fuck? Not able to process this sanity.
Well, one other thing to look forward to on this week's upcoming NXT, Ember Moon versus Ruby Riott, #1 contendership
Wow.
match. That should be really good. And, of course, Mauro Ranallo calling the action here on NXT. So I love Mauro every week.
Fuck yeah, man.
We got McIntyre and Dane for number one contendership too.
Yep, mentioned that, so that should be really good too. Why are your sunglasses on, Joe?
Because I'm badass.
Your future is bright.
I actually meant to put them on at the beginning of the podcast, and I forgot.
Okay,
I was going to wear them.
Well, you put them on right at the end, so good for you.
Yeah.
That's going to do it this week for the best
Way to
pro
ruin the
wrestling
show, Joe.
podcast.
I've ruined way worse.
My music isn't firing here. There it goes. That's going to do it for this week on Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Wednesday, I am going to record Strong Honor. I'll get into everything that happened on night one of the G1 Climax, talk about that awesome Rev Pro show, and I'm also going to talk about this week's Ring of Honor TV. So tons to talk about there. Check out the
days for New Japan.
What's that? We got to wait till Thursday for more New Japan. Yes.
Fuck.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Plenty of New Japan talk next week.
Yes.
So, but Strong Honor, check that out on thefanspodcast.com. It's also going to be on this podcast feed throughout the G1 Climax and probably going forward. So if you just listen,
check it out.
If you just check out the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast RSS feed, it's there, but also on thefanspodcast.com. Follow me on Twitter at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. Follow this show at BPW Podcast. Go to Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast and tell everybody about it. Go to iTunes, rate, review, and subscribe. Give us that 5-star rating because we're the best. Taco, where can people find you?
Ooh, you can find me on the Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can find me on Twitter at JoeBPWP. That's Joe at Joe Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Ooh, that was a really good plug, man.
Ooh, yeah.
That's going to do it for this week. For Joe and Taco, I'm Tommy. Bye! Peace!
That's tremendous analysis.
Well, you're exactly right. Yes. Absolutely right.
What? No, yes. That is so profane, Dana, and rude.
Samoa Joe.
No one cares about women's wrestling, man.